think they are in love? You think the Asians are in love with Africans? You think all those Asians are in Nigeria because they love Africans? You think all those Asians are marrying our Nigerian sisters because they love African people? He ain't married into that Nigerian woman because he loved her. He was told to marry her. Asians move out as a group. They are on code. They are on protocol. They are in alignment. They are on agenda. He's marrying her so he can get access to the resources, the land, and the opportunities. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? Stop assuming. I'm not assuming. You assuming. I know what I'm talking about. You go to the block party. Bring me some ribs with some extra barbecue sauce on them. And bring me some seafood salad. And I love me some Parmesan crusted lamb chops. Ladies, can I get some Parmesan crusted lamb chops? Can King Kong Consciousness get some Parmesan crusted lamb chops? I'm in the mood for some Parmesan. Anybody got some Parmesan crusted lamb chops available in the Philadelphia area? My South Jersey queens, my Delaware queens, my Northern Maryland queens, my Philly queens. I'm in the mood for some Parmesan crusted lamb chops. I just sent that Negro peeing to the block party. But anyway, as I was saying, that Asian is not marrying that Nigerian because he loved black people. China is on a serious global takeover. China wants to replace Neanderthal nation as the lone superpower on the planet Earth. And every time we see a person of another color, I am not a bigot. I can't be a racist because I don't control the opportunities, the resources, or the privileges. I can't be a racist. I can be a racial bigot, which I am not. But I cannot be racist because I don't control resources, opportunities, and privileges. But I'm very disappointed in African people worldwide. I'm talking to the global African family right now. I'm talking to the global African family right now. I am very disappointed. Every time a non-African decides to invade our private space, we celebrate them. Can somebody tell me why we do this? I know why we do this, but can you tell me why? Why is it when an Asian decides to marry an African woman and participate in a traditional Nigerian wedding, we celebrate them? When a white person decides to be a rapper, a hip hop artist, we celebrate them. When somebody from another race decides they want to make soul food, black music, we celebrate. Why do we celebrate colonization and exploitation? Why do we celebrate colonization and exploitation? Why do we celebrate colonization and exploitation? Now, let me ask you a question. If I went to China or Korea and married a Chinese or Korean woman and decided to participate in a Chinese or Korean wedding, do you think the Chinese men or the Korean men or the Chinese women and the Korean women would be up there celebrating their culture with me? Do you really think they would be happy that I would be marrying a Chinese woman or a Korean woman? Do you really think they would be happy with me wearing their traditional clothing? Do you really think they would be happy with me dancing to their traditional music? I've been to China. I know how they feel about black people. I've been to Japan. I know how they feel about black people. But whenever somebody wants to invade our cultural space, we are so thirsty for validation and approval from non-blacks. We've been beat down by white power globally for so long that we're so thirsty for validation and approval by non-blacks. Please cut the nonsense. Please cut the nonsense. Somebody sent me a clip of a black woman, one of our sisters in America, American African sister. American African sister. She was pregnant with child, or she is pregnant with child. She was dating two men, two brothers, and she got pregnant. And she didn't know which man was the biological father. She didn't know which man was the biological father. So she decided to invite both potential fathers to the baby shower. People ridiculed her. They condemned her. What are you doing? That is trifling. How are you going to invite two men to the baby shower? I totally disagree. I totally disagree. Yes, she should have known who her child's father was. We all understand that. That was a mistake on her part. I'm sure she's aware. But I appreciate her honesty and integrity in dealing with the situation. How many black women do you know, if they are unsure of the father, is going to go to both men and say, listen, I slept with both of y'all this month. You was unprotected. My side piece had a condom on. It split. It came off. My loosey-goosey sucked it off. Whatever the case is, how many black women you know are going to go to the two men who could be the child's father and say, listen, I'm not going to play no games with you. I had sex with another man this month. I had sex within a 30-day period with two different men. I don't know which one of you is the father. I'm inviting both of y'all to the baby shower. How many women you know have that kind of honesty and integrity? How many women do you know have that kind of honesty and integrity? Most black women would have done what? Because I know a lot of men who found out later the baby wasn't theirs. I know a lot of men who found out later the baby was not theirs. I know a lot of men who found out later that the baby was not theirs. A lot of women will simply play Russian roulette with one man's emotions. A lot of women will simply play Russian roulette with one man's emotions, and they will simply take a guess. I think it's his, or I want it to be his. And they will play the whole pregnancy like it's one man's child. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of you sisters are guilty. Some of you brothers have experienced this. Some of you sisters are guilty. Some of you brothers have experienced this. Some of you sisters are guilty. Some of you brothers have experienced this when you're led to believe the child is yours, only to find out after the child is born, or 10 years later, or 20 years later, or 30 years later, when your child need a organ transplant, or your child need a blood transfusion, and you find out at your son's 21st birthday that you are not his biological father. You understand me? We got so many women who have done that to men. Blame them for being the father, accuse them for being the father, label them as the dad, and they never were. So I appreciate this sister being honest enough with these two men. And guess what? Both of the brothers came. Shout out to those two brothers. Both of the brothers came. They say, listen, we didn't like this, but this is the way it is. We appreciate you for being honest with us, and we are both going to be here. And whoever is the father, God bless him. And whoever is not the father, he can be the godfather. Whoever is not the father, he can be the godfather, because you can't expect the man to go through 9 months of wondering and wishing only to find out the child is not his. He can be the godfather. So shout out to the two brothers who were humble enough to respect this sister for being honest, who are humble enough to come to the baby shower and say, it is what it is. If this is my child, I want my child to know that I was there. If this is my child, I want my child to know I was there. And if this is not my child, congratulations to this other brother, and maybe I'll be the godfather. So I don't look at it the way y'all look at it. I think something has to be said for women who can be honest. Yeah, she was a little loose in the booty. Yeah, we know that. She was a little loose in the booty, but yet and still, she decided to be honest and come clean about her indiscretions, and I can respect that sister for that. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.